So today we are back with another Parfums de Marly clone. We've already gone over a Layton clone, actually a couple Layton clones here on the channel. We've gone over a Carlisle clone, but there's another really popular Parfums de Marly fragrance that we haven't covered a clone on yet until now. We have Maison Alhambra Hercules, and this one is going to be a clone of Herod, which is a fantastic tobacco, honey, vanilla scent for men. Beast mode, great scent, and just a really wearable, well done, accomplished tobacco scent. It comes with the cost, like you would probably imagine from Parfums de Marly, and this here is going to be an affordable alternative to you for about $30 or so. So how good is this one? We're going to get into it today. I'm going to tell you how close it is to Herod, the performance, the quality, and just kind of how it smells in general, in case you are unaware of how Herod smells. And, Alhambra has been getting pretty creative with their presentation and the fact that they're not shy about what they're going after. So, they've gone with the Tom Ford clones, where they are very much a rip of the private blend line. And they've got a few other lines out there as well that are getting very close to other types of scents. And this one here kind of has a similar deal going on with the cap, which is very much a statement maker on the bottle, kind of like Parfums de Marly. The bottle has a very similar coloration. You can tell kind of what they're going after here. And if you guys are unaware, Maison Alhambra is Lattafa. So whenever you get one of these fragrances in and you look at the box on the bottom, you will see Lattafa.com. It's just kind of a subsidiary of Lattafa brand. But again, it's all coming from the same place here. And it seems to be that a lot of fragrance clones are kind of going that direction. They're kind of branching off and creating separate lines from the same entity. So we'll go ahead and dive into this one. We'll start off with how it smells. I mean, when you get this one in and you give it a spray for the first time, it's very apparent as to what it's trying to go after here. If you have any sort of experience with Parfums de Marly Herod, when you smell this one, you will know where it's coming from. It's all about the tobacco, a nice kind of red pipe tobacco, but there's also kind of a dustiness about it. You do get a little bit of a kind of a honey accord, but it's not to the level of like a Naxos. It's going to be more of a tobacco, vanilla, tonka, kind of dusty sweetness, a little bit of a kind of a peppery spiciness as well. Very much is going to be heavily focused on the tobacco, but with supporting notes. And so what that gives you essentially is a scent DNA that's going to be very wearable. You can start looking into some niche tobacco scents that are going to be very hard to pull off and very challenging, but this DNA is not like that. And again, same with Herod. It's using a lot of supplementary notes to kind of balance everything out. If it was just tobacco and nothing else, it might be a little bit challenging, might be a little bit less versatile, but when you start throwing in the vanilla, the tonka bean, maybe some of the cinnamon, maybe the black pepper, then you start to get kind of a little bit more of a wearable scent profile overall. That's what Herod does, and again, this one is following in those footsteps. So I tried to look up a note breakdown on this one here, and this is kind of the closest I got. Again, it's obviously a Herod clone, so it's going to have probably a similar note breakdown to Herod, but for this one officially, we have, let's see, it's a woody spicy fragrance with tobacco and vanilla. There's some florals, a smoky heart, which is made up of notes of osmanthus, tobacco, incense, and labdanum. And then we have base notes of, again, vanilla, cedarwood, and vetiver. So that's just from one website here. You guys know what this is going to be all about already. It's going to have the tobacco accord with the vanilla. It's really well done scent. I will say, when you're talking about this versus Herod, you do get a little bit more of that kind of floral mid, more so than you do from Herod itself. So there's kind of a little bit more of a freshness to this one than maybe Herod would have, but not to the level to where it throws it off. I mean, when you smell this one, you still very much know that it is a Herod clone, and it gets you very close to it. In terms of what I've smelled so far, I don't have any other Herod clones. You know, we already have a couple latent clones, like I had mentioned, Carlisle clone and other things of the sort, but nothing until now have we had a Herod-inspired scent. Now, you could go for something like Spice Bomb Extreme, which could give you, you know, a similar deal of the tobacco, vanilla, black pepper thing going on, sweetness, spiciness, that sort of thing. But still, there's a difference between the two. This one is going to get you incredibly close to Herod, but again, at a fraction of the price here. And I think that's what makes this one very appealing. And again, at the end of the day, this one isn't all that far off from Herod. You know, there are going to be some differences between the two a little bit, being that this does have a little bit more of a fresh mid. The opening is very close to Herod, about as close as you can get. The dry down also about as close as you can get. But there is this kind of transitional period kind of in the mid there where those florals are coming in to where this one kind of stands out from Herod itself. But once you get past that mid, you get into that dry down, you're pretty much Herod all the way. And for most people out there in the real world, you wouldn't really be able to differentiate the two of them. So we'll talk about performance here on this one because that is going to be an important factor when you're looking into purchasing a clone. And it's been a great performer on my skin. 8-9 hours longevity. Projection has also been pretty solid as well, so you really can't complain about that, especially at this price point. Again, about $30 or so. That's pretty great, you know, especially in far as clones go. A lot of clones, especially some older ones, have been horrible in terms of performance. Maybe they'll get you kind of close to the scent, but then they won't perform at all. But within the past few years, the clones have been getting better and better. And this is one of those scents where they pretty much have hit it amazing, from scent to performance to quality. Everything is great for the price. Now, does it have the same exact quality of Herod? Not quite. You know, you can tell that this is going to be a little bit more budget friendly. However, in terms of the price, definitely well above what you would expect for a $30 scent. Presentation is also really nice. I already showed you guys there a little bit in the beginning, but I mean, you can't beat that. You know, nice cap, nice color bottle, and still very much a Herod looking presentation for sure. So, you know, if you're after kind of, you know, just the presentation look, how close it is, this is going to get it done for you here for sure. In terms of versatility, it's going to be a fall winter scent. You know, we're kind of at the tail end of winter here. We got officially about a little over a month left before we turn into spring, you know, in terms of when it officially starts. Realistically, though, you could probably wear this one going into springtime if it's cool outside. You don't have to be super scientific about it, but this is definitely going to favor the cooler weather. That being said, if you're in a climate-controlled environment, you could wear this one pretty much whenever and not have an issue. So all around, if you're looking for a Parfums de Marly Herod alternative on the cheap, this is one you should check out. I gotta tell you guys, Lattafa and Maison Alhambra are a couple lines, just essentially a brand that you really can't go wrong with. I have covered so many Lattafa and Maison Alhambra clones on the channel, whether it be standalone reviews and also lists, all of which have been amazing. I haven't smelled one yet that hasn't been just about as close as you can get. So these clones are top notch, and this is no exception either. Another fantastic one you should have around for sure. So I will provide a link to this one down below, and I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.